Hello and welcome, I'm CuddlyJay, and today we'll be looking at a PvE Earthrune staff build. So, let's get straight into this, shall we? So we have the Earthrune staff, and we're going to try my best to fly through these so you don't have to, sit through an 8-minute, 10-minute video. I want to just go straight to them and tell you what the abilities are and kind of give you a rough idea of what's going on. So, for your first ability, Reality Fissure, the main reason for this is it's good AoE and it shoots in a straight line. You pick where you want to shoot it, fire it off. The first Reality Crack, so the first time you fire it, deals 266 magical damage to all the enemies it hits, and of course it will apply 1 shift charge on you. Shift charges are the blue bars if you look on your character when you have these staffs, and once they fill up, you transform, you're going to do more damage and use your special ability pretty much. Next you have the second Reality Fissure, so you'll fire this off for a second time. This time it will deal 455 magical damage to all the enemies hits, and it'll, well, if you hit at least one enemy, it will apply 2 shift charges on you, so it's very good indeed. Next we have Distortion. I like this because it's a huge AoE. When you're clearing out PvE mobs, it's really good. Just throw this down, you conjure a cloud of distorted reality with a 4-meter radius at the targeted location of your choosing. This will last 3 seconds. It does slow the enemies by 20%, but it deals 266 magical damage every 0.75 seconds. And then each enemy hit applies 1 shift charge on you up to 2 times. Then for our passive, I just went with Altered Beast. When transforming, you increase your max and current health by 2% for 5 seconds for each shift charge. Stacks up to 5 times. So now we're going to talk about the good old transformation, and I was going to say the Hellfire Bat one was my favorite, but I'm going to be honest, the Golem is now my favorite one, because it transforms you into a giant Golem. Who doesn't want to be one of those? It's badass. So yeah, you transform into this for up to 20 seconds, and this is what changes on your stats. Your offensive is low, your defensive is high, and your energy regeneration is very high. So a good thing to note, when you're low on energy, if you transform, you can just get all your energy back pretty much. You're very defensive, so you're going to be very tanky, you're not going to be easily killed, and then yes, the offensive says low, but you're still dealing quite a bit of damage. Now, it grants immunity to all forced movement effects, increases your max and current health based on the amount of shift charges you have. So if you have the max charges, which is 5, and you should always try and have that before you transform, you'll get a health increase of 30%. It's really good indeed. Now, let's say you've transformed now, you're going to have 2 abilities. The first one is Boulder Crash. This is a damage crowd control. You throw a boulder at the position of your choosing, you deal 415 physical damage in a 3.5 meter radius, and it stuns the enemies for 1.9 seconds. So it's good to interrupt enemies that are, cast spelling and so forth. So for the next ability, we have Tectonic Shift. Basically, you're just going to use this. A giant wall, like a stone wall, will appear in front of you, and it will knock back enemies by 2 meters, and it will pull all enemies between you and the wall towards you, alright? And it'll deal 465 physical damage versus the mobs to all enemies it pulled, and it makes you the highest priority target for all mobs hit. So if you're looking for like a tank, you could probably use this just because it will make you the highest priority target for all the mobs it hits. Now the second ability is Tectonic Slam. You slam the ground, you deal 398 physical damage in a 6-meter radius, throws all enemies up into the air for 0.67 seconds. It creates a rune lasting 5 seconds, which decreases max and current health of all enemies within it by 15%. So basically another interrupt if you need one. You then of course have End Transformation, which transforms you back to your human form, and then for your passive you have Powerful Impact. While at least 1 shift charge is active on you, your auto attacks will deal 216 physical damage in a 4-meter radius. So for your shoes here, I went with the Cleric Sandals. We just went with Energetic Sprint. This is so when we're in our human form, alright? Because you might not want to transform all the time to get your energy back. Just pop this, you restore 10 energy every 1 second, and you'll increase your move speed by 80% for 5 seconds. And then for our passive, I went with Aggression, which increases our damage and healing cast by 3.5%. For our hat, I wanted more damage, so I went with the Mage Cowl. It's a good AoE. Go with Fire Breath. You shoot this in in front of you. You deal 380 magical damage over 3 seconds to all the enemies hits. And then for the passive, we went with Aggression again to increase our damage and healing cast. So for our bags and capes, we just went with a normal bag. And then for the cape, I went with the Fetford cape. This is a lightning cape, so you auto attack and then it jumps between 4 targets. It won't hit the same target twice, but it'll deal 173 magical damage to each one it hits. Alright, so I'm going to give you 2 choices of jackets. You're going to have the Hellion jacket with the lifesteal aura, so this will do some damage and healing and keep you alive, and then go with the passive Balanced Mind to increase your damage, healing cast by 4%, and increase your defense by 2%. Now, if you don't want to use the Hellion jacket and don't want the lifesteal, I highly recommend it though, go with the Stalker jacket. And go with the Electric Field. This is really good AoE against enemies, and then of course go with Balanced Mind just like the other one. What I do is, say I'm clearing a dungeon out, for example, I would use the Stalker jacket up until the boss fights, and then I would switch over to the Hellion jacket. Overall, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, do all that lovely stuff, and come check me out on Twitch. It's always nice when you come in and say hello. And I just want to say one more thing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.